Have you ever wondered what happens when you can no longer work? Before April 13, 1935, this question haunted millions of Americans. When you became too old to labor, you faced a brutal reality: poverty, dependency, or worse. But on this day, President Franklin D. Roosevelt forwarded a bill to Congress that would fundamentally transform American life, the Social Security Act. With the stroke of a pen, he set in motion a safety net that would eventually protect virtually every American family. I can still remember my grandmother crying when she heard about Social Security, recalled 92-year-old Margaret Wilson in a 2010 interview. She said it was the first time in her life she didn't fear getting old. America in 1935 was a nation in crisis. The Great Depression had wiped out savings, shuttered banks, and left over half of America's elderly in poverty. One study showed that 50% of people over 65 were completely dependent on others for survival. Consider this. When the stock market crashed in 1929, there was no unemployment insurance, no disability coverage, no guaranteed income for the elderly. If you couldn't work and had no family to support you, your options were charity, the poorhouse, or starvation. The Social Security bill wasn't just about retirement. It created unemployment insurance, aid for dependent children, and public health services. For the first time, Americans could see a future where growing old didn't mean growing poor. The program wasn't perfect. Agricultural and domestic workers, largely African Americans and women, were initially excluded. It would take decades of amendments to truly make Social Security universal. What's difficult to comprehend today is just how revolutionary this concept was. Before Social Security, retirement wasn't a concept for most Americans. You simply worked until you died or became incapacitated. When you receive that Social Security statement or see a deduction on your paycheck, you're experiencing the direct legacy of April 13, 1935. Today, Social Security lifts 15 million elderly Americans above the poverty line. That's roughly the entire population of New England states combined. Though the bill wouldn't be signed into law until August, this April day marked the moment when America decided that allowing our elderly to live in poverty was simply unacceptable. What's most remarkable about Social Security isn't just the financial impact. It's how it transformed our cultural understanding of aging itself. For the first time, growing old didn't mean becoming a burden. It meant entering a new phase of life with dignity and independence. As Roosevelt himself put it, we can never ensure 100% of the population against 100% of the hazards and vicissitudes of life. But we have tried to frame a law which will give some measure of protection to the average citizen. The Social Security Act wasn't just another government program. It fundamentally redefined our social contract and our obligations to each other across generations. Has a government program ever made a direct difference in your family's life? Share your story in the comments below. And don't miss tomorrow's video, where we'll explore another pivotal moment that shaped the America we live in today. These stories aren't just about past decisions. They're about understanding the foundations of our daily lives that we often take for granted. If this glimpse into the birth of America's most enduring safety net has given you perspective, please hit that like button and subscribe to History Sparks for more stories that illuminate the moments that built our world.